And this time we're talking about information that you'll need and that you'll be able to access as you go throughout the program.
Some of the important documents that we want you to think about accessing is our graduate student handbook that's available online through the graduate school's website. The graduate catalog, which has a listing of all of our courses, and their descriptions are also available on their website. And then the MPA program and our MBS program has their programmatic handbooks accessible online as well. So some important offices and individuals that you might want to become familiar with is the Graduate College. We are under the graduate school. All of your graduation submissions, any type of financial aid questions, assistantship concerns, those are all navigated through the graduate school. The registrar's office, if you have issues or concerns with registration, they're your primary point of contact. Addlestone Library, if you want to graduate with a degree, you will need to access the library at some point. Virtually, they are extremely accessible. They have appointments, and there are so many digital references, books, and articles on the website. The Career Center helps you find employment, internships, post-graduation employment, as well as part-time jobs that you may want to secure while enrolled here. The SNAP offices, they handle students who have different learning abilities, and so they help with accommodations, and they're also located on campus, and you can contact them via email for an appointment. And then our beloved Joseph Riley Center for Livable Communities, which is right down the road a little bit. And they're a great space to study. Space might be a little different right now. And a lot of our community assistance program work happens at the Riley Center.
So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about mentorship and advising. So all of our faculty are available to meet with you when you need to meet. We love to answer questions about your areas of interest, kinds of things that you're thinking about, where you think you might want to work, any questions that you might have about employment, or even questions that you have about classes. And so we can meet regularly. We enjoy meeting with students. We have this Zoom thing, although this recording session that we've been doing, Marla has little questions about whether or not I actually know what I'm doing on Zoom. But, you know, we do meet regularly with students, telephone calls, Zoom meetings, and even in person, following all safety protocols. The things that, you know, just common courtesy when you're meeting with your faculty advisor, that you want to be prepared, follow up with a summary, make sure that you communicate what it is that you're interested in, and take the initiative, you know. So we're a lot of things, but not mind readers, right? And so we really do want to hear from you, and we're hopeful that you will reach out to us and ask us questions, all of us. So you virtually met all of us, so all of us are interested in that.
One important thing that I want you to think about is how to conduct yourself in working with professors. This is kind of a no-brainer, but some of us are new to graduate school, and I just want to give you an opportunity to kind of familiarize yourself with a different way of conducting yourself. We pay them lots of good money for them to critique us so that we can be better as students. And so I want you to think about how you will appreciate these comments and suggestions, engage with those, ask more questions, because it's all about building you up as a student to prepare you for the workforce as a public administrator. Take the criticism seriously and constructively. If you want to crawl under professor's skin, repeat the same mistake over and over, even though they have commented on ways that you can improve that mistake. Don't burn bridges. Communication is key. If you feel uncomfortable or if the issue comes up, I think it's really important that you reach out to your faculty member and communicate those concerns. And that will help you not to burn bridges or to create situations where you're no longer in good relationship with professors, because these are the same people who will write recommendations letters for you, whether that's going to be in the workforce or going into a PhD program. Familiarize yourself with the office hours, and office and, you know, loose air quotes,
whatever those look like
whatever
now.
That's going to be. It's really important that you understand their schedules and then see if that matches up with your schedule so that you can institutionalize time throughout the semester when you can engage with your faculty member, because it's not exclusively about doing good work or graduating from the program. It's also about relationship building and creating networks with these faculty members. And then accept responsibility for your studies. If you turn in things late or you forget, It is your responsibility to not only remember, but take responsibility for not doing those things. And so if you don't understand, it is not the faculty member's responsibility to know that you don't understand. It's your responsibility to communicate that with your faculty members.
So, let me give you a couple of tips about how you get the most out of what you read, right? And so reading is a really big part of graduate studies. You want to try to be really organized when you read. And so remember that you're not reading so that you can regurgitate information from a test. This isn't reading to memorize. It's reading to understand concepts and to be able to apply those concepts. You want to be really organized. You want to think about what you want to take away. Think about the module or the chapter or the focus or emphasis that's being discussed in the class. And then as you read, think about those elements that apply to that topic or module as you're reading so that you can contribute to conversation. You want to be really efficient when you do it, right? And so set aside the time to be able to do it. Try to avoid distractions. Take some notes. Summarize your key points. You want to keep a list of sources and reference materials that you use as you're writing or as you're thinking about how you've expanded on things that have been introduced or readings that have been assigned. And then one other thing that you might be really, that I have found has been incredibly helpful throughout my academic career and even in my career as a student is to offer a peer review, to read someone else's work or to ask one of your colleagues to read your work and offer that feedback. It's really helpful to get the perspective of another student. And so, you use that as a resource and a reference material.
So in the classroom, there are a couple of things that we want you to consider. Class participation is mandatory, right? We need you to engage because not only does the learning experience happen in taking notes and reading, but also being in class, being present and engaging with your peers about the topic and how that relates to other topics, other situations and circumstances and other coursework. Stay disciplined and work ahead. It is really important that you don't fall behind. There's not a lot of room to catch up. I don't think there's a history of extra credit in graduate school, and so don't depend on that if that's been the norm in your undergraduate careers. So I think it's really important, like Dr. Millicent said, take time, take notes. It's really important that maybe you read the majority of the material prior to class. Oftentimes it helps to let it sit for a day and not try to cram that stuff in the day of or the night before class. Prioritizing pace yourself is really important. If you have 3 courses that all have heavy reading and it's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, if you're unlucky enough to get a schedule as such, then I think it's really important that you think about what your weekends look like or what the end of the week looks like so that Tuesday night you're not cramming to get stuff in for your Wednesday class. Keep your assignments. If you don't hear anything that we've said this entire presentation or any of the other modules, keep all of your assignments. Not just the assignments that you turn in, the assignments that you get back with contributions and criticisms from your faculty members. Take that piece of paper with those notes on it and stick it in a folder. We'll help you convert that to an electronic file, and that way you can put it on your jump drive and you can have it. So it's not just important that you keep the documents that you give to professors, but that you keep the documents that they give back to you. Do not, I repeat, do not depend on OAKS to quantify all of your documents and keep it throughout the duration of your academic careers. When you finish this class, that last day, OAKS will be done and you will not have access to any of the documents that you've put in the Dropbox. So just be mindful, start organizing those jump drives and putting, your course numbers in there so that you can just dump all of your information in there because you will need all of it come the end of your program during the capstone class. And then lastly, in any opportunity and chance that you have, set a positive example for your peers. If you've had an innovative experience this summer, or if you've had struggles or issues, bringing that in the classroom environment and creating an opportunity for students and faculty members to engage about that issue or that situation is very helpful. And so anytime that you can model the behavior of an optimal MPA student, it benefits you most.
Great, thank you. And then we want to just share a little bit about if you're doing a research or you're engaged in a project, like maybe you're doing a thesis or maybe you're an MES student and you need to do a thesis. one of the things that might be helpful, and we'll make sure that all of our incoming students get one, is we have these nice journals, and we'll make sure everybody gets one of those. Keep a journal of ideas and set some reasonable goals with deadlines. I think if nothing, if these past 4 months have shown us nothing, 5 months, 6 months,
8 years.
10, yeah, have shown us nothing, is that things can change at a moment's notice. And so set reasonable goals. You don't want to make a list that's 4 pages long when we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Keep yourself a to-do list. Talk about your research over and over, or talk about the project that you're working on. Remember that one of our values and one of the things that we really care about is this notion of co-creation and collaboration. And we are very good at what's in our heads, but until we start sharing them with others, we don't even know what the possibilities are for how much more can be in our head. Just as to remember that the MPA program does use APA. There are guidelines about how to use APA. You want to start using that immediately as you begin to submit your papers.
And one last thing we want to leave you with is to think about academic challenges and professional development. If you sit in class and again, you don't participate and you don't link up what's going on in class with things that are happening outside of the classroom environment or things that are happening in other classes, then you really won't get out of it what you need. So as much as you bring to the classroom environment, like Dr. Millicent said, bring that research topic, integrate it somehow, some way in the public policy course or the HR course that you're taking. And then take the time and the energy to be vulnerable in the classroom environment with where you are and how you're breaking down the coursework. A lot of this is about serving the public, but a lot of it is reflective on how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about the work that we do. Seek out opportunities for experiential learning. There is an internship component to this program, so there are going to be lots of opportunities that are going to be emailed to you, but it's definitely in your best interest to go out and seek organizations, businesses, local government agencies that are tuned to what you're interested in. And when you're in the thick of the class, it's going to be really slow. And while you're cramming for an exam or you're trying to get that 20-page paper out, it's going to be the slowest thing that you ever thought of. And you're going to wake up 2 days from that moment and you're going to be graduating. Yeah. And so there's not a lot of time to be reflective. And so like Dr. Millicent said, it's really important that you be reflective in the moment because not only will that help you quantify your experiences in a way that will apply to how you do work in the future, but it will also help you in capstone and help you graduate and help you get the most, again, out of the program that you would like. Network and connect with your peers. Your peers know people, they work for people, they have family and friends that know people and work for people. And so out of all of the jobs that are offered in the world, the majority, well over 50%, are posted nowhere. Those are the networking jobs that you get when you make relationships with your faculty members and your peers. And last but not least, use your resources. Mm-hmm. As well as, whatever we have offered in this building or any things that you can pick our brains about. Please use all of your resources as well as the graduate school in any nook and cranny that you can find at the College of Charleston to help you be most successful in the MPA program.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you pointed to both of us. Like, really, we want to help you be successful. So please feel free to reach out to us. And, I know that we've heard this over and over again. Oh, there's no stupid questions. There aren't really any bad questions. If you have a question, please reach out to us and let us help you figure out the answer to that. So thanks very much. And I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to say, so thank you very much.